Let's jump right into this explainer. We usually think of historical, foundational texts strictly in terms of language, right? Poetry, moral guidance, things like that. But what if there's a hidden, calculated framework sitting right beneath the calligraphy? The source material we're looking at today presents a really fascinating alternative lens. It reveals how numbers, geometry, and symmetry are literally woven into the very fabric of this text.
In the order of creation are signs for those who reflect. That thought really sets the stage for our whole journey today. It acts like a bridge between the spiritual and the scientific. The sources emphasize that order is never an accident. Instead, we're tracing a deliberate path from microscopic precision like specific word counts all the way up to the massive macro scale of planetary orbits. It's basically an open invitation to look closer at a universe governed by absolute precision.
Picture this concept visually for a second. An open book acting as a wellspring for the universe itself. Glowing numbers, geometric grids, and even familiar mathematical sequences like the Fibonacci numbers, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, flowing directly from the pages right out into the heavens. The premise here suggests that the text and the cosmos share the exact same mathematical language. They're pointing toward a single, unified architecture of existence.
Okay, moving into section 1, the code of the text. To really grasp this, we've got to start small, at the micro level. The sources point out that the Quran isn't just a collection of chapters, it has a highly deliberate numerical architecture. We're talking exactly 114 chapters, divided into 30 parts, made up of tens of thousands of words. And within all those words, specific numerical patterns repeat in very meaningful ways. It hints at a design that goes way beyond just simple storytelling.
Take the number 19, for example. According to the source material, this number acts as a crucial mathematical baseline. The foundational phrase that begins almost every chapter consists of exactly 19 letters. Now, you might be wondering, why does a baseline even matter? Well, it creates this hidden structural rhythm beneath the words. It echoes repeatedly to mathematically bind the whole text together.
And that brings us to another key motif, the number 7. This number isn't just randomly sprinkled in. It appears in highly significant, deliberate contexts. The most obvious example in the sources is the direct mention of the 7 heavens. It establishes this theme of divine symmetry that the text just keeps returning to time and time again. It's a constant reminder of intentional design.
But here's where it gets absolutely fascinating. The text doesn't just count letters, it balances vocabulary. The source material reveals a really incredible correlation. The word for day appears in the text exactly 365 times. Think about that for a second. 365. It perfectly aligns the textual repetition with our solar calendar. And this was long before that kind of exactness was widely standardized across the globe.
All right, section 2, precision and divine symmetry. Let's see how this builds up from raw numbers and word counts into mathematically precise rules for human society. The sources argue this isn't just abstract theoretical math, it's a practical blueprint. Symmetry is presented as a literal standard for earthly justice, proving that this underlying mathematics has real-world tangible applications.
So, what does this actually look like in daily life? Well, look at inheritance laws. The text doesn't just offer vague guidelines. It ensures perfect balance and fairness through exact, undeniable fractions. 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 2/3. Strict mathematical division is used to mandate societal equity. It effectively removes human ambiguity completely out of the equation. It's justice, calculated right down to the decimal.
And this earthly symmetry extends right into the concept of pairs in creation. The sources highlight verses stating that all things are created in pairs. Whether we're talking about human duality, male and female, or pairings found all across the animal and botanical kingdoms, it reflects a biological symmetry. This intentional, balanced duality is framed as a fundamental law of the natural world. It's a direct mirror of the mathematical balance found in the text.
Let's transition to section 3, mathematics and nature. Zooming out into the broader natural world, the source material links this textual precision directly to the physical patterns we see around us every single day. The core argument here is that the author of the text and the architect of nature are one and the same, and mathematics is the fingerprint left on both. It's a profound thought that bridges biology, physics, and scripture all at once.
You can see this precision echoed in the exact proportions of nature. Think about the golden ratio, or sequences like the Fibonacci numbers. When you look at the natural spiral of a seashell or the geometric layout of a flower, you are looking at structural harmony. The sources suggest the text points its readers toward these exact geometric miracles as proof of a calculated design permeating the entire physical world.
Moving right along to Section 4, the cosmic clockwork. Now we elevate our perspective even further. We are moving from the earthly nature of plants right into the grand celestial clockwork of time, planetary movement, and astronomy. The text describes the night sky not just aesthetically, but as a perfectly calibrated machine, one that turns with absolute, predictable mathematical certainty.
Think about how we measure a single day. The sources point out that the text describes a precise system governing the cycles of nature. It mandates the exact alternation of light and dark, functioning in a continuous, unyielding 24-hour cycle. It's presented as this flawless system of planetary rotation, maintaining life on Earth, day after day, absolutely without fail.
And this measurement of time extends out to much longer cycles too, like lunar calendars. The system strictly denotes 4 sacred months out of the year. So whether it's the 365 days of the sun, the 24 hours of the Earth's rotation, or the phases of the moon dictating these specific months, the text emphasizes a universe governed by strict, incredibly measurable timekeeping.
All of this culminates in a foundational philosophical statement. As noted in the sources, the translated phrase reads, "Indeed, we created everything with precise measure." It is a massive reinforcement of this mathematical theology. Nothing is haphazard. Every single atom, every orbit, every fraction is quantified and deliberate. It leaves zero room for randomness in creation.
Which brings us to our final section, harmony of the universe. Let's step back to the ultimate macro level. When you put all these pieces together, the specific word counts, the exact earthly fractions, the biological pairs, the planetary orbits, you get a comprehensive picture of cosmic unity. The sources present a system seamlessly locked together, all the way from the ink on the page right up to the rotation of the galaxies.
The full scope of these claims really connects every facet of existence. Astronomy, proportions of the human body, natural patterns, the unstoppable cycles of time, they aren't presented as random, chaotic events. Not at all. Instead, they're defined as a unified, mathematically calculated system working together in absolute perfect harmony.
This overarching theme is beautifully summarized by the Arabic phrase meaning the mathematics of the Quran. When you visualize it surrounded by celestial bodies, golden ratios, and complex geometric mosaics, you really see how the pillars of faith connect directly with the unyielding laws of absolute order and logic. It shows us a worldview where science and spirituality aren't opposing forces. They are literally speaking the exact same numerical language.
So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative question drawn directly from the source text. It asks the reader to pause. After seeing the precision of the fractions, the alignment of the calendar, and the geometry of the cosmos, it invites you to look up at the stars and reflect on the hidden mathematical codes of creation. Are we truly observing the world around us, or are there locks upon our understanding? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep reflecting on the numbers all around you.